This is your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask with your host, Dr. Judith Briles. On the show today, you'll find out where book publishing is going and how to take advantage of it. How to identify and avoid publishing predators. What opportunities are emerging as the book trade evolves in new forms. How to avoid losing money and much, much more. Join us now as a variety of publishing pros will deliver insights and strategies to take the author to the next level of publishing. It's your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. Brought to you by AuthorU and the Book Shepherd. And now, here's your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
Hello everyone, it's AuthorU, your guide to book publishing, and I thought I would just continue, it's me solo today again, with some of these top mistakes I consistently see authors make inside daily, evening, weekly, monthly. They just keep going on. One of the ones that I get asked, sometimes very early on in the process, is should we get endorsements? Should I go after endorsements? And there's two ways that I look at endorsements. And the mistake part is that if you're going to do this, you've got the wrong ones, or you're not sure how to go out and vet who you're after. So let's just talk about endorsements in general. Do you seek them or do you take a pass? I think that we'll start there. So with some books, they really do need endorsements. If you have, if you're breaking into it and you're not a real well-known in a certain area, but you've got someone around you who has got a name, a claim to fame in that particular field, and would be someone who really would be an attractive person to have on your back cover or anywhere around endorsing you and your work, that is worthwhile. And I've also told authors, think of the dream machine here. That if there was one person, two people out there that would absolutely attract you to your type of book in your specialty area, who would that be? You may not even know this person, but let's just say, who would that be? And that's who you want to go after. That in the business realm, having someone, if you're writing a business book, someone like Malcolm Gladwell or Daniel Pink, individuals like that, Peter Senge, endorsing your book would be a huge shout out, because those names are certainly well recognized in the business arena. But having, Susan Smith down the street, someone locally in your club, a co-worker, that's worthless. I have to tell you, it's worthless. So you've got to cherry pick is really what I want to tell you do. So let's start with, you want to create a wish list of who your ideal endorser or endorsers would be. You want someone who's got credibility within your genre, someone who brings clout with their name alone and is easily recognized by a potential buyer for your type of book. If you don't know of anyone in this area, you might want to do some Google searching for who are the top influencers in your specialty, in your industry. That's one way to go after it. The other thing is that I want to say, it's very important, and here's a big mistake. You got to steer clear of names that carry any negative baggage. So let me just put who are on those lists instantly would be a politician. You may love a certain party, a certain affiliation, a certain area, but if your book has more of a universal appeal to it, you've just kissed off at least half of the potential buyers who so dislike that party, that person, etc. So you need to think smartly here. Now, if you are someone who is writing to a specific political audience, you don't care about the other side, then of course you would want to go after that. So just be strategically smart is what I want you to say. If you've got someone who is, for example, a celebrity, a star of some sort, a movie star, again, they may have some baggage. You want to be careful here. Go to your personal contacts. Outside of your personal contacts, you may have to reach out to those in your circle and just merely ask, who do you know who knows, and then fill in the blank. Or another really great source that I like to cut, this is inside scoop, this is kind of how do we get out of this now? That you can go to is a little book. Actually, it's like the old telephone book size, but it's called the Celebrity Black Book. The Celebrity Black Book. You can get it on Amazon easily. Now, you're talking about $40-50. Go for the used version, because the reality is that last year's edition is just fine for this year. And what that little book has in, it's alphabetical, but it'll have the name, how you contact them. It could be through an agency, or you know what, it could be directly to their own offices. But it'll give you the address and the phone number, sometimes email. It's a very cool reference. I keep a copy. I get a new copy every few years, and my clients know that they can come to my office and look it up. Or sometimes if I'm on the phone, they'll say, Judith, would you look up, tell me where I can get a hold of Martin Sheen, tell me where I can get a hold of. And I had a client, my author I've mentioned many, many times on the air, Steve Snyder, with his book Shot Down, who has just picked up its 15th book award, who was after some endorsers because we're doing some pitching for movies right now. And we just took a half hour out, and I went through and gave him a slew of contacts that he could reach out to. So someone who has it is a good friend to have, or someone, you get it yourself. You can certainly check out your local library, but that's called the Celebrity Black Book. All right. One of the things that too many authors do in our internet era is assuming that a potential endorser desires to receive your book via an email link. Don't ever assume anything. You need to ask any potential cheerleader, and this is critical. This is another huge mistake, that they assume everyone reads ebook. You know what? They don't. Only 29% of the readers read ebooks. That's where the sales are. The majority are in print. So my recommendation is that if you reach out to an endorser, let them know what options they have. Do they want it in an e-format? Do they want it in a PDF that you can send? Do they want the manuscript printed out in full? Do they want to wait until there, for example, is an ARC or an advanced reader copy? Do they want to have a table of contents and a few select chapters? I get asked all the time to do endorsements, and I don't do a lot of them. One of my rules is, if you want me to look at your book, you will have it printed and sent it to me in its total. If I know the person well and I know enough about the book, I may be able to do a very quick assessment with the table of contents and a few cherry picking of chapters that I can get a real feel, and then I can do an endorsement. But you need to give me or any potential endorser the option of how he or she wants to receive it. Don't assume that you can just send a link or a PDF link, fill in the blank, whatever you do here. Let them select how they want to do that. If you're fortunate to get a lot of shout outs from people, you want to use them. So if you've got someone from your dream list, consider it on the back cover and do it. My suggestion is, don't bury it in your text, your descriptions and your marketing material for your book. Maybe you want to have your designer create something, like a call out, maybe a change in the coloring or something that makes it shine, pop out. You want to use the other endorsements first, your website, on your book related pages, and secondly, do it in the front matter of your book, where you can have praise for your title. People are talking, advanced readers, some kind of lead in, and then go through, and you may not, if they've given you many paragraphs, you're going to have to go in and pull blurbs from them, so that's shorter versions. But come in and then reduce that. But bring those in and include those, and they will go in the very first pages of your book. When your book cover is folded over, people are talking right there. You could do one, you have one page, and then you got the back page, or you could do a couple of pages. And if you look at a lot of the books, especially the books that have been reprinted from the New York type books, you will see this as a common feature. So if you haven't been to a bookstore, you certainly want to do a check over to see, okay, how are some of these books being presented today? So that's the tip. Don't forget to add this into your website. And if someone has given you an endorsement, by the way, and it's not on your Amazon page, would you also send them out a thank you note, of course, and in the email include the link to your live Amazon page. And if your book is up for sale, get it up there. If it's in pre-sale, meaning that all the boxes will be gray for purchasing. If it's in pre-sale, they won't be able to put up any reviews. They will have to wait until it is live. So just an FYI here as you go along. And that it will make a difference. I'm telling you, you're after all the reviews you can gather them up, keep copies. When people sent me endorsements of my book, when the book is live on Amazon, I will send them back a reminder, thanking them again, a reminder to put it up on Amazon. Here's the link. It will take them no more than 30 seconds to do that for you. So that's tip number one. Tip number two is just very quickly, since I'm on Amazon and we're going to run into a break here, is that you can love it or you can hate it, but you have got to use it. So don't be a snob. You've got to do it. You want to get up on Amazon.com/advantage, create an account. Then you get yourself over to Author Central, create your Author Central account. That will be at authorscentral.amazon.com. And the secret sauce for Author Central, which I truly love, is that you can get a live person to talk to you if you need some help. And also the Author Central is going to be able to clarify your categories of where your book should be. So you should be exploring the bestseller status of who you're competing with. Look at what categories that they're in. See what the number count is, because if you're after bestseller status, which we're going to come back to after our break, if you're after that bestseller status, it's imperative that you've got the right categories to be able to compete with. This is Judith Briles. You're listening to AuthorU, your guide to book publishing. We're talking about some of the mistakes that are commonly made by authors, and we'll be getting into more when we come right back.
This is your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask, with your host, Dr. Judith Briles. And we'll be right back with more great information right after these.
Many of us have dreamed of writing a book.
Some of us even have.
Then the hard work starts.
You'll need an editor.
Who will design the cover or typeset the pages?
Who will format the ebook?
If you're a business owner, consultant, or coach with a serious message and expertise to share, the team of experts at 1106 Design can guide you through the maze.
They've helped more than 1,000 authors create top-quality books and avoid the not-so-reputable self-publishing companies.
Learn more at 1106design.com.
Then call Michelle at 602-866-3226. 1106 Design.
Is there a book in you or another? AuthorU will show you how to create, develop, and publish your book without being hoodwinked. If you already have a book out, you'll find a supportive and brainstorming community that's connected and creative no matter where you live. AuthorU brings in national experts for its book camps and annual author extravaganza held each May. It has regular meetings and delivers webinars for its members on timely topics. Through AuthorU's extensive network, members enjoy exclusive benefits, including significant discounts for a variety of services necessary to publishing. The Resource, its online book publishing news magazine, is content-heavy and it's free. If you want to create a book that has pizzazz, punch, and panache, AuthorU is for you. If you're a hobbyist or a casual author, it's not. Join AuthorU today through its website at AuthorU.org. Follow AuthorU on Twitter at AuthorU and on Facebook at AuthorU, where timely author and publishing tips and articles are posted daily. AuthorU, where the author goes to become seriously successful.
First impressions are everything in the world of book publishing. Whether your book is an ebook, a print version, or both. Your book cover needs to pop, sizzle, and sparkle to immediately capture the attention of your audience. And your book's interior needs to be just as dynamic and reflect the professionalism your readers demand. Nick Sellinger of NZ Graphics has won numerous national and international book awards for his cover designs and interior layouts. With over 20 years of experience in graphic design, he knows what it takes to create award-winning books and the many promotional pieces that authors need, such as posters, banners, postcards, one-sheets, business cards, logos, and more. Visit ncgraphics.com and see what authors and publishers have to say about their award-winning books and how NZ Graphics can make your book the success it was meant to be. That's nzgraphics.com.
Welcome back to your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. If you want to write and publish a book, if you want to be successful as an author, your guide to book publishing, everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask, is for you. Stay tuned and you'll hear about statistics, scenarios, and strategies on what to do now to get you published. So let's get back to the show. And here again is your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
All right, mistake authors make. This is Judith Briles, and we're exploring some of them. I went through some of the things of doing for going after endorsements in our first segment and opened up the Amazon window. You got to use it, period, dot, dash. You got to use it. So set up your Amazon.com Advantage account, /Advantage, and push out a date when you have your book available. And on that, and you can go in and fine tune and tweak, and you can encourage people to go in and do pre-ordering. One of the things, Amazon, the robots do track all this. If they see pre-orders coming in, Bob Martin, with his book, The Case of the Missing Crown Jewels, got a wonderful label called #1 New Release because there were so many pre-orders coming in and going through that. So you can shoot for those kind of things, and also you'll see orders starting to come in for you as you go along. Second part of that is make sure that you get your Amazon Author Central account set up. You can add videos, you can get your blog in there, you can do a closer tracking, but the very best part about the Author Central account is that you can click, when you click on contact and they say, do you want us to email you? You're going to say, oh no, I want someone to call me, and they will do it in 5 seconds. And you won't get someone from India that maybe you can't understand them well, although they speak English. If English is your primary language, you will have trouble understanding sometimes. I know it's been frustrating for me, and it's usually domestically Costa Rica, very easy to understand. It's Canada, it's US based for North America, and you can really get into it very quickly, and they are extraordinarily helpful and can fix snafus on pages, even over on your listing page. If you've got a snafu, they can do things. If things need to be linked, if your ebook is not linking right, they can get that in there in a nanosecond. And also the best thing is they can make changes for your categories if you find that you have put in, because when you set up your account you didn't know which way to go. I mean, you just put nonfiction and didn't know that there are other options that you can get into that. Now you need to know here, mistake that a lot of authors make is they assume that Kindle and the print book are one and the same in the categories, and believe me, they're not. Kindle has far more category choices. So get in there and see what, again, on both formats, that the best sellers are you're competing with, where you're going, and see what the competition numbers are. See how many are posted that you're competing with. Maybe you should be in a different category that will allow you to really control it and be the gorilla in the block. So you want to take advantage of that. All right, the next thing is that Goodreads And Shelfari is something that you need to know about here, because Amazon owns Goodreads, and although they don't mutually connect and link with each other, it's important to get, if you've got reviews going on Amazon, you want to encourage people, especially if you know them, to go ahead and post over on Goodreads. Why? Librarians read Goodreads. They are really after what the consumers are talking about with books to add to their collections. So reviews are critical. Another mistake that people don't do, which leads into this next step, is the whole issue of reviews. You got to ask and you have to get them. Now, one of the things that we did, which was very cool, because I believe in not only paying it forward, but you play it forward. And that one of the features I do whenever I do a workshop here in my home base of Colorado, or I do an online workshop, right? Next month, October, we will start How to Write a Book in 4 Weeks online again. And for those of you who are interested, you can get information on the Book Shepherd website, thebookshepherd.com. Just click on events. But you can go in and you can pull those together. And that one of the things that we do is we do a survey of anyone. Is anyone got a new book ready? Or we can feature someone with one of their other books. They get 1 minute to pitch it, tell them about it, and then our collective group will go up and support. This is play it forward. We will support the author and get post reviews, because numbers count. First number notch you want to get by is 35. Then you are on your way marching to 110 is what you want at Amazon, because then the robots really start pairing you up with other books. People bought this, they bought this, and your book goes into there. So get those reviews, ask for them, give books away. Mistake. Authors are afraid to give books away. They want to sell them all the time. I mean, I think the money's great. Don't get me wrong here. But this is part of the seeding and fertilizing the field, that you give a book away with a string attached. And the string attached is you will go up and post a review on Amazon, period. Now, I give people little slips of paper. I would have you consider making a postcard or something along that lines that you could come back to that gives them a short link. Go to bit.ly or tinyurl.com. Bring the massive long link over from your Amazon page, get it shortened and customize it, and give that. And then you will come along with it and have a variable of where it is that you're going with it and recommend it. So give them a card inside your book. You can make a postcard, make it very cheap. There's a great resource to go to, GotPrint, gotprint.com or gotprint.net. We'll get it to you. You can get postcards, 1,000 postcards for well under $100. Get your cover on the front, get your ID and information on it. You slip it into every book that goes out, and it will put it together and let you know, remind people that your book is here, that they've got this as a freebie, and tell them not to say, I've got my book free, that you want to tell them to say, you know, I heard Judith speak on her new book, The Crowdfunding Guide for Authors and Writers, which is my new book. And that I got these, it's a gem, I got these great tips, blah, 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 and get that up and put it up. So give them a customized link. So it'll be very short. If it's bit.ly, it'll be bit.ly, // : and then it'll have a short shortener, just a few characters, and then it'll have another / and you're going to put in like a customized 3, 1 or 2 words. That will bring it in. Mine was crowdfund book. All right. So it's easy for them to remember what they're supposed to do. And you've got to make this easy. And here's the other thing. Make sure, your mistakes, we don't gather up emails of people. Every person that you give a book to, you need to start doing a spreadsheet, who that is, the date you gave it to it, and their email, because if they don't have something up on Amazon within a week, you are going to do the magic goose, and you will go out and remind them that, you know, you're honored that they took your book and they agreed to review it and post a review on Amazon. You know, as a quick reminder, here's the link to go to the page to do that. You may have to do this a couple of times. Don't be shy. This is the business of publishing. So you bring that into play. And the other thing is, you want to make a habit. Another mistake authors consistently make is they don't go up to Amazon to see, oh, what's posted there, and copy it. Copy it, copy it, copy it, copy it, and make sure that you have a separate file on your computer somewhere that you've got all these goodies, because, you know, sometimes Amazon deletes things. Guess what? They do. And you might want to ask them to repost it. And the second thing is, you want to carry it over into your website, you know, your shout outs. So make sure that you do that. It's very important in the fact that you've got a master going on for all your reviews, and you will be so glad that you do this as you go forward in your career here with your reviews. And they do. I mean, sometimes, you know, if you're having a bad day, everyone has a bad day, you can go in and just toggle, see what people are saying, what people have said, and they bring them up. And it just brings it together. So reviews, go get them, ask for them, give away books, do it with a string attached that you're going to put a review, get their emails, remind them to do that. Now, while you're on Amazon, next tip, while you're on Amazon, here's another idea that you're going to do. That I want you, if you've got any crummy reviews, and it happens, or if you go to your, you know, what are they saying that it lacks, okay? If you can adjust, next time out you go to edition, you're going to bring in what they're saying is missing. But here's where I want you to go. Whoever your competitors are, because you should have noted who your competitors are in your industry, in your genre, is that you want to go over and you will go and look if they have any 1 or 2 star reviews and pay attention to what they're saying this book lacks. In your marketing copy, savvy person that you are, you're going to make sure that whatever those areas are that your competitors' books lack, that have been identified by other people who have reviewed it, you're going to be coming up and you're going to use that it contains, you know, your book has features blah, 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 which is what is lacking in your competitors. Little stealth trick that you can use, and that it will put you up a little bit higher when people are looking for things. Because remember, Amazon is a search, and people will put in that search engine. Maybe they'll put in keywords, and it could be a keyword phrase that is a lacking in a competitor book that might bring them to yours. So just a little trick to keep advantage of. All right, we're going to take a quick break. This is Judith Briles, AuthorU, your guide to book publishing. I'll be right back.
This is your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. And we'll be right back with more great information right after these.
Since 1987, Color House Graphics has set the standard for quality book production. Whether you decide to print a small quantity of books or need a large print run, depend on Color House to help you. You'll receive professional help and advice the moment you reach one of our representatives. If you mention hearing about us on your guide to book publishing with Judith Briles, we will provide you a discount on the first order you place. To speak with a project manager, call us toll-free at 800-454-1916 or visit us at www.colorhousegraphics.com.
When Ned Thompson and Harry Shore started Thompson Shore in 1972, they believed employees with great character would make up the best company. They were right. They hired people who were not only experts in bookmaking, but who were obsessed with quality and delivering exceptional customer service. Almost 40 years later, Thompson Shore remains a 100% employee-owned company. Ned and Harry knew that successful customer projects are a direct result of empowered employees. We specialize in all books for large and small publishers, creating beautiful and well-made books. We're dedicated to pleasing our customers by making the experience a good one from start to finish. The personal touch we have with our customers allows us to be innovative in solving their most difficult challenges. Our platform also ensures that we can remain flexible to meet our customers' unique needs and expectations. Our marketing kit can create buzz for your title, enhancing the promotion of your book during infancy. When you need to test the market to gauge your future sales, we can provide digitally printed books that will transition seamlessly into a larger offset run. From ebook to hard copy to delivery, our skillful customer service teams are at the ready to answer your most pressing question. At Thompson Shore, we know that making the highest quality books requires more than just best technologies. It requires superior customer service, professionalism to the trade, and commitment to environmental and social values. With these standards of excellence in place, you can be sure that we will always help you put your best book forward.
Welcome back to your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. If you want to write and publish a book, if you want to be successful as an author, your guide to book publishing, everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask, is for you. Stay tuned and you'll hear about statistics, scenarios, and strategies on what to do now to get you published. So let's get back to the show. And here again is your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
One of the things that authors do, or maybe I should say, one of the things authors don't do, a huge mistake as we go through our journey of some of these top mistakes that authors make in not marketing themselves and moving forward, is that they don't understand the value of their words verbally. And that means that they're delivering them, they're creating them. Your words are golden. You need to start speaking soon, and you start speaking often. And that even if your book is not done, even if you don't have book in hand yet, you should be marketing to people that your book is forthcoming. So in your email, I want you to make sure that your email signature has that you're the author of whatever your title is, available winter of 2016. Now, it could be fall of 2015, 2016. Just say fall of 2015. Remember, we're in fall right now. Fall started September 20th. It goes to December 20th. Winter starts on the 21st of December. It goes to March 20th. So give yourself a window. Don't ever nail yourself down to it's going to be available on September 29th. Don't do that, because it probably won't be in a lot of cases. Give yourself a window that it's going to be available in the quarters that people know that it's coming during this time. Now, in reaching out to potential buyers of your words, meaning people who hire speakers to come in to speak, or maybe you speak for free. I mean, a lot of times, because you all know I live in Colorado. I rarely spoke in Colorado. I spoke all over the world, but rarely in my hometown, because the rule, there ain't no glory in your hometown, does stick. To try to get some traction in my hometown, I used to reach out to groups that would be synergistic to the topic of my book. And I would let them know that I was willing to waive, as a special announcement of my forthcoming book, whatever the title is, blah, 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 that I will waive my speaking fee of, and whatever your fee is, if it's $1,000, $2,500, $5,000, I don't know what it is, I'm willing to waive my speaking fee if, and I would say this, if everyone who's there buys a copy of my book. Now, sometimes they do luncheons, sometimes they do morning meetings, sometimes they would do, you'd have to know what kind of meeting format they did, but I would just say that it's included in the luncheon fee. So if their luncheon fee was normally $20, so now the luncheon fee is $40, which includes a copy of my book. And that's how I would pick up a little extra money, start moving the book, but also then I would be pushing out and bringing into play where those start the review going. So I'd have a slip of paper, or I would create a bookmark or a postcard or something with the picture of the book cover just on the front, and then I'd make it look like a regular, if it's a postcard, like a regular postcard that I could actually mail it off. So it had copy on the left side. I'd have maybe leave a little space in it so I could write a note. And then I would have a mailing if I wanted to mail it. Or if I was giving it to, I took it in with a group, I would actually pre-write a little note to all of them. Don't forget to post a review on Amazon, for example. So encourage, you've got to always remind them. The visual helps. But speaking soon and speaking often, number one, will get book sales going. And even if your book's not out, I used to go in with flyers. I would go in with a flyer that people could pre-buy it at a special price. And rarely did I lower it below the price of what the actual retail book is, but I would include free shipping, which was worth $6. So in effect, they would save anywhere from 25 to 30% if they bought it from me to get a personalized copy. And by the way, always accent that you give personalized copies. So the question is, pay comes in the form, or my statement is, pay comes in the form of a speaking fee, or it also comes in book sales. Better yet, it's the combo. I did it locally because I rarely worked here, so I waived my fee and I moved it in. I also did another deal with already pre-existing clients of mine that when I had a new book coming out, I would offer to whack off part of my fee and then say that we needed to do a keynote on this book because I knew that I would walk away with several hundred book sales. The question often is, should you speak and not get paid? And it's a maybe, maybe not. So I've told you how I would do it on the setup. I've spoken professionally for over 3 decades now, meaning I got paid when I opened my mouth. 90% of all my presentations had a speaking fee attached to them. The other 10%, it was considered marketing and caring. My approach was that if I believed there was someone in the audience that could hire me at my speaking fee, I would be there. And if I felt very passionate about a group, I would step up to the plate to support them. Or basically, they would pay me a fee that I would donate in entirety back to the group. And typically, by the way, any group I spoke to, I would always ask, did they have a nonprofit side? Did they have a special scholarship that they gave out? Did they have a foundation? Did they have a cause they were supporting? I always gave 10% of my book sales back to the groups. National groups can engage you as a speaker, so can local groups. And by the way, look at local groups, look at state groups. I did a huge amount in the healthcare field. I'm not a nurse. I'm not a doctor. I have a doctorate, but it's in business. I'm not a doctor, but boy, I learned their jargon. I could schmooze. I could interact. I was integrated. I could hang out with that group because I knew it so extraordinarily well. The other thing that's really important is that as soon as you have physical books, you get a case in your car. You are always carrying a case. And for women, you slip a book in your purse. You need to make sure that you always have books with you for either giveaway, marketing, people buy. I gave a workshop just yesterday for a local group. It was free. It was a free thing that, and my motive was that I was hoping that there would be people who wanted to be authors in the group. It was a group of speakers who wanted to be authors in the group who would be interested in participating in my How to Write a Book in 4 Weeks course. All right. So I did it free as a marketing effort. I've been in the speaking field for a long time, so it's part of the payback of that. And I've just brought along a couple of my books. And several people said, I want to buy that book. How can I get that book? And so, they were there. If I hadn't had them, I wouldn't have had the extra $50. All right. So my tip here, before we take our final break here, is combining speaking and authoring can create income that usually exceeds what most make working for others. You can make a very lucrative living by speaking on your books and creating a game plan, but it takes work. It takes drilling down. It takes knowing where your audience is. It takes, so important, knowing their pain. And when you know their pain, you can address their problems, because what you bring to them is the resolution and the solutions. And that's what's so exciting from the speaking business, that knowing that you make a difference, that knowing that you really have value. And remember, it's not money that makes the world go around. It is problems. And as an author, I don't care if you're fiction or you're nonfiction, you are a problem solver, and you make the world go round. For fiction, you entertain, you give them escape. That's the pain. They need to get out, they need to get away, they need time out. That's my problem. You will solve it. For nonfiction, you are all these specialty areas. You will identify the problem, you know where the pain is, you know what the causation is, and you're going to deliver solutions. It's a home run. I'm Judith Briles. It's AuthorU, your guide to book publishing. We'll be right back for our final segment.
This is your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask, with your host, Dr. Judith Briles. And we'll be right back with more great information right after these.
The book shepherding concept is simple. The publishing world is changing, and so must you. You need an experienced shepherd and a guide to partner with you as you create, strategize, develop, publish, and achieve your publishing goals. You can't do it alone without paying the price. You can spend your money creating a book that turns out to be so-so, or you can create a book that looks and feels classy, builds your brand, and is a financial success, a bestseller. It's your choice. You choose. You need the book shepherd. Publishing is riddled with obstacles, sometimes nightmares for the author. You don't need problems, you want solutions. Dr. Judith Briles will shepherd you through the maze and the chaos. At times, she's had to step in and rescue a book that has been sabotaged by a publisher, or by a publishing service provider, or sometimes even the author themselves. Judith Briles is the book shepherd if you want to create a book with no regrets. Give her a call today, 303-885-2207. That's 303-885-2207, or email her at judith@briles.com. By the way, Briles is spelled B-R-I-L-E-S. Follow Judith on Twitter at My Book Shepherd and on Facebook at The Book Shepherd.
At Total Printing Systems, customer service is our priority. We are located in Southern Illinois. Our employees have an average of 18 years experience and know that customer relationships are important to our continued success. We have been a short-run book printer for nearly 40 years and always stay at the forefront of technology. Our niche is from 1 to 5,000 copies. Today, we offer digital, black and white, and 4-color high-speed inkjet printing, a cost-effective way to introduce color into your short-run titles. We, of course, offer traditional offset printing as well. Bindery is done in-house, from adhesive case binding to PUR perfect binding to mechanical binding of all types, including side sewing. We provide warehousing, kitting, distribution, inventory management, a new print-on-demand facility, streaming browser-based ebooks, and bookstore. Call us at 1-800-465-5200 for a quote on your next book project. You can also visit our website at www.tps1.com.
Welcome back to your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. If you want to write and publish a book, if you want to be successful as an author, your guide to book publishing, everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask, is for you. Stay tuned and you'll hear about statistics, scenarios, and strategies on what to do now to get you published. So let's get back to the show. And here again is your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
All right, in our final segment, as we come back on AuthorU, your guide to book publishing, I wanted to share some of the tips that authors just don't think about. So let's start with a big mistake is exiting or excluding, maybe is a better word to say, book clubs from your possible market to go to. You want to seek them out. You want to pitch to book clubs. So I'm going to give you, I'll go slow, I'll repeat it a couple of times, a couple of ideas, and I'm going to give you some websites to go and find these places. Now, I do want to tell you, in most cases, if you're reaching out to what I would call a legit is the wrong word to use, a retail type of book club, that they are looking for bargain basement purchases from you. Now, one of my books, I've had a couple of books featured in book clubs, and one of my books, which was on healthcare, on zapping conflict in the healthcare workplace, was picked up by a nursing book club, and it was their book of the month. And it was so much fun to get an immediate order for 1,500 books. Now, wouldn't that make your day? But they're looking for a bargain basement. So here was a book that sold for almost $30. They sold retail. Now, my cost wasn't anywhere near there. My cost probably per book on the printing was, it was a big book. It was a 400-page book. The cost on the printing was in the $3 range mark, with all the doodads I had that embossed the cover and things. And that I wasn't going to sell it for, I knew I wasn't going to get it for a 45% typical discount. They were going way down. They paid roughly $6.10 a book. So I still made a profit. But here was the bonus. They paid within 30 days. There were no returns. In fact, there was a reorder. And it was gone. And it was good for my credibility on the Kadoo side that it had, it was selected as the featured book of the month. So I had that going for me, and that's all part of marketing, that you can put that out. It's a selected book, because that led to more speaking gigs to nursing-related groups that wanted me in because that book was featured. So there was a method to my madness here. So there's a fabulous site called booksclubsresource.com, but you need hyphens in here. So it's book hyphen clubs, plural, book hyphen clubs hyphen resource.com. The book hyphen clubs hyphen resource.com. It's an eye-opener for general information on a variety of clubs, reading groups, and how to set up one yourself if you wanted to for online options. For those of you who have a really building online option or thinking of a membership site, you might want to think about creating a book club that you recommend yourself. Let the internet do the walking for you. So here's also some other sites I'm going to recommend for you to go through. Now, the rest of these have no hyphen in them. Book Club Deals. Book Club Deals with a plural. bookclubdeals.com. Books, plural. Books booksonline.com, booksonline.com, bookspan.com, bookspan.com, and then all book clubs, plural, allbookclubs.com. Don't forget companies. Don't be surprised to discover that departments within companies may have their own book clubs. I know the huge company Google has their own book club. I know that Apple has a book club. If you've got a book that might be a fit, and by the way, it doesn't have to be technology, that they may consider that. It could be about communication. It could be about management. It could be, fantasy. It could be a variety of things. Last summer, I visited a friend at a Denver hospital, and just chatting with one of the nurses, I discovered that not only did the leadership team get together monthly to discuss a book, but guess what? My book was the book they discovered last month. And the dodos didn't even read about the author, knowing that she was in their own backyard. I would have been delighted to come down because I would have been honored. They bought 30 copies of my book for their immediate management team here in the nursing management. My book called Sabotage, How to Deal with the Pit Bull, Skunk, Snakes, Scorpions, and Slugs in the Healthcare Workplace, was featured. And here they had, not 30 copies, they had 43 copies that they bought. And I said I would come in and be glad to sign them and do a short talk for them. Maybe be there for a Q&A. Maybe they can pick my brain on how to solve some of these issues that I knew intimately about. So there's a variety of book clubs out there. Now, one other place that you might want to go to that is a wonderful resource is the local bookstore. And local bookstores have it could be an indie or it could be something like Barnes & Noble. You call them and ask them if they have any recommended book clubs. Radio stations, sometimes a morning show might have recommended book clubs that they recommend. A lot of times they'll be fiction. They usually are not nonfiction in my experience here. But the problem is, it's not a problem. The good thing is you never know. You never know where you could be and where you could be fit. Now, here's another stealth thing to do, tip. If you're trying to find out who all the book clubs are, and maybe sometimes the bookstore may hold them close to their vest because they're the resource that the members come in and buy their books from. You might say this, I'm new in the community and I'm looking for a book club that I might be able to join that loves historical fiction. And don't be surprised to get 3 or 4 different names. Well, now you, as the author, could reach out to them and literally say, I was over at the local bookstore and I know that your club, uses them to get books, and I have a new book in the area that you might be interested in. So, you never know. Last night at a workshop I was doing for a group, I had a very small, intensive workshop we were doing on writing, and we had 6 members, and I was talking about a book that I was working on, and one of them said, I bet you my book club might like this. I'm going to recommend it. And she, took the note of the URL that it's up on Amazon. And, there's 12 members, and my client may get 12 book sales out of it. The thing is, you just never know. So it's getting out there and being there. So book clubs, add those to your source. It's very important. Now, as we come in here, that we're getting close to the end, but I wanted to bring up something about the whole area of design. And that a lot of times people don't think about design. Big mistake is they don't think about design until they've written their book. Mistake is you need to think early on. And I would want to get my cover designer involved as early as possible. and bring it into play. So they would have a part and start your branding on it, so that as soon as you can, even if you change it, even if you tweak your cover, and by the way, it happens all the time, even titles change in the process as it goes through. I have a book right now that it was called one thing, and it wasn't until I reread it again, and there was just one phrase in a poem she had created in it that just shouted at us that we knew that was, as we all looked around the table here in my conference room, we knew that was the title, not the other one. So you can have those changes as you go back and forth. Now, getting a cover design in early on into the game is critical. So you start, the thing I want you to do is to head down to your local bookstore, wherever that is. You go back into the section of where your book would belong. You check out what the current crop of titles are, what you like, what you don't like, what shouts out to you, what you think, oh my God, what they were thinking. Take pictures with your phone. Next, go up to the new tables where the new books are coming in. I just want you to walk around. What colors jump out at you? What fonts? What images, if they have any images? Or maybe it's the simplicity factor. I'm seeing a lot of simple right now, not a lot of fiction's different, but not a lot of stuff going on a nonfiction cover. But some interesting things going on that would make it stand out in those variations. Take pictures of it. Talk to your cover designer. Get them involved so you get going and you start branding it. Getting that going now along with your email signature. Drop it in there so people can see it. Let people start seeing it. Print it out so you can look at it to keep you engaged and moving on. Having that designer is very important. The next thing I want to make you do before we wrap up here is make sure you start working on your tagline that's going with your pitch, so you get that implemented. This is your descriptor. What's your expertise in? That descriptor that you're going to go on your website underneath your name. It's going to go in your social media profiles. You're going to start branding from the get-go, even though your book may not be out for another 6 months. So those kind of things, we're going to come back and we'll talk about this more at a later time, but you've got to bring that into play and start looking like a real author. Start acting like you really are a professional. Start experiencing that this is a business. This is my persona. This is where I'm going with it. All right. So this is Judith Briles. Another fast hour on AuthorU, your guide to book publishing. We're going to continue going through some of these key elements to add to your author's success. And next week, I will be going into 7 critical elements to become a successful author. Have a great week. Keep on writing, think publishing, and always remember, this is a business. I'm Judith Briles.
Thank you for being a part of Your Guide to Book Publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. Each week, a variety of publishing pros will deliver insights and strategies to take you, the author, to the next level. You'll learn tips and secrets on how to create, strategize, develop, publish, and achieve book publishing success by making one very simple change in your book's journey. How to avoid the publishing predators. How to create an author and book platform that rocks. Learn how to make a living with your words and your books. Learn how to publish a book that has no regrets, and so much more. For more information, check out AuthorU.org, where authors who want to be seriously successful go. And Judith's website, thebookshepherd.com. Then join us again here next week for more. It's your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. Brought to you by AuthorU and the Book Shepherd. Thursday evenings at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific on the Rockstar Radio Network.